From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your evening update.
Cascade Paint and Supply is Reading's oldest family-owned paint store, established in 1953. We are the largest Dunn Edwards dealer in the nation, and most of our products are made in the U.S. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff are ready to answer your questions and help you today.
Well, happy Friday evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Mike Kruger from Weather NorCal, and you know what? We're pretty much right in the middle of the heat wave. The temperatures we're seeing today and kind of peaking today and tomorrow, the temperatures leading up to that have been increasing. Then we're going to start to watch our temperatures begin to slowly drop for the second half of the weekend and going through next week. But I expect record-breaking heat at least through the weekend, even into the beginning of next week in some areas here. Now the lows will be fairly warm overnight, especially in the valley. We are seeing those cooler overnight lows for many of the higher elevations, but it pretty much rapidly warms up as the sun comes up. Now we're reaching that time of the year where fire danger is almost pretty much elevated every day due to the fact that it's pretty much hot every day and dry every day. It's the winds. It's the winds that can really elevate it and bring it above and beyond where we start seeing that much higher fire danger. So we'll be talking about the winds and what that means for our fire danger here as we go through the weekend. Your neighborhood forecast at a glance: temperatures over 100 degrees for pretty much everyone, with the exception of, yes, you guessed it, the coast. The temperatures there in the low 70s for your daytime highs. All right, we're going to take a look at that smoke out there. Now let's get to the smoke forecast here. I got a little button happy here. There we go. So here you see right here, as we take you through tomorrow morning, really not going to see a lot. Now, the two main fires that are out there right now, of course, is in western Siskiyou County. That is the Shelley Fire, and you got the Thompson Fire near Oroville. And really what you'll notice here, at least based on the forecast model data, these fires are not anticipated to really develop and produce a lot of smoke. So even as we go into Saturday night, yeah, there might be a little bit of a plume there, but really when you're seeing these grays here, just barely getting to the yellow, that's a little bit of haze. And for the most part, a lot of you won't even notice it or see it. But there are going to be some areas closer to the fires that may see a little bit more haze out there. So let's talk about that fire potential here. There you can see, of course, the areas in orange. You see the H? That just means it's going to be hot and dry. Pretty standard, right? Pretty typical for this time of the year. It's excessively hot and not to mention very dry. That'll be the case going into your Sunday as well. And then as we start to see the temperatures begin to drop, well, we'll probably start to get more in that moderate risk for that fire danger. Now, what I want to show you here are the winds, because what's interesting is, the winds are picking up a little bit for the valley tomorrow morning, but nothing that big of a deal, right? By tomorrow afternoon, though, a couple of places I want you to take note. Number one, north and west side of the valley into Hama County, we've got some of these lighter shades of green. That's getting in the 25-mile-an-hour range. See, if we can keep those winds below 15 miles per hour, I'm pretty happy. But if we start getting into 15 to 20 miles per hour, I'm starting to get a little concerned about our fire danger. So what you'll notice here is that we do have these stronger winds, especially in Modoc County, Eastern Lassen, and Plumas County as well. I would anticipate that we're going to be looking at higher fire danger here than we would in, say, places like Trinity County and western Siskiyou County. But bottom line, that fire danger is going to be high pretty much anywhere you go, minus, of course, the extreme coast, right? Because as we go into Sunday, the winds won't be quite as strong, but again, we're getting over that 20 mile per hour range for some areas. That does elevate that fire danger a bit more. Now, the other factor we look at is the humidity. And do we see any decent recovery in the morning hours? And we're seeing that, right? You're looking at teens and 20s, but then we drop down into the single digits by Saturday afternoon. Then we go into Sunday morning, we see a little bit of recovery, but still very dry. And then it dries out even more by the time we go into Sunday afternoon. So the overall fire weather risk combines the temperature, the winds, and the humidity. So we're in that very high to extreme range, right? We're seeing those oranges and deep reds. But look at the mountains. So as you'll notice here, I would anticipate this is where we're going to have the highest fire danger in the mountains, right here. You see all the yellows, the deep yellows? That's getting in the very high range. Now, if you head into Trinity County, not as much orange in there, as well as western Siskiyou County. So again, I would anticipate this is where we're seeing higher fire danger. But, we've got that high fire danger pretty much across the board. Now, as we go into Sunday, not much change here for the valley. There's actually a bit of a south wind there. That should help things. The fire danger looks to be not quite as high, but there you see central Siskiyou County out towards Shasta Valley, looking at some pretty high fire danger there as well. Now the heat. We transition to talk about the heat. Pretty much all up and down the western United States, we've got those heat advisories and excessive heat watches and warnings, right? So the peak of the heat wave is tomorrow. That's when that area of high pressure is right on top of us. This is where the hottest temperatures will be with that ridge of high pressure. The good news is this dives down to the south. Now, what that means is the major heat, the biggest heat with that high pressure is right here. Okay, right on top of that high pressure. We are on the outside perimeter of that. Now, what that means is temperatures do drop, but it's not going to drop by much, at least at this point. Because look what happens as we go into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. This ridge of high pressure actually builds north-northeast. As it does that, temperatures there are going to increase, but it's still very close to us. So that's going to keep our temperatures easily 105 to 110 through at least Thursday of next week in the valley. But by the time we get into Friday and Saturday of next week, this is going to start to dive down to the south-southeast. Cooler area of low pressure, that's going to help to push that heat even farther off to the east. Now, as a result, our temperatures are going to start to drop. In fact, we take a look at the 10-day trend for Redding in particular. Peak is tomorrow. You see the gradual drop in the temperature as we get into not a week from this upcoming weekend. So remember I was talking about how we go from 118, that area of high pressure shifts to the south, so we drop about 4 degrees. And then temperatures just kind of level out about 110 degrees through the end of next week. But then we see a bigger dip in our temperatures by that next weekend because that ridge of high pressure is shifting even more to the east. So there is our relief. Can you believe it? 103 degrees, 102 degrees, that's relief from the heat. But when you're talking 118, 114, 103 doesn't sound so bad, does it? Now, talking about record-breaking highs, I think for the next 3 days for Redding, we could break a record. Saturday, borderline Sunday, and kind of semi-borderline Monday as well. So we could break some more records here going into Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Same situation for Mount Shasta, breaking records Saturday, Sunday, and most likely Monday as well. In fact, very easily Monday with the record high of 97. Take you out to Susanville. I think we're going to easily break records for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And for the coast, I think we could barely see a record breaker on Saturday, but then we'll be a little bit more hard-pressed going into Sunday and Monday. But you get the idea. This heat wave, record-breaking heat, at least through early next week for many of us. All right, and then, of course, that chance will start to diminish as we get towards the end of next week. But there you can see your wave heights are going to be fairly low for your Saturday. We take you on into your Sunday. Wave heights really not changing much. So we look at our marine forecast for tomorrow. West winds at 5 knots, waves from the northwest at 3 feet at 8 seconds. No advisories, no small craft advisories, no hazardous seas warnings, anything like that. So tonight, again, a fairly mild morning. Some might consider it warm and cooler in the mountains. But I mean, look at Mount Shasta, pretty warm there, 69, 66 degrees for Weed. And then, of course, those overnight lows along the coast in the upper 50s. So we take a look at our Trinity County neighborhood forecast, and we look for the next 7 days. Temperatures will be over 100 degrees through the end of next week. The peak is tomorrow. Temperatures gradually but surely dropping as we go through next week. We take a look at the North Coast neighborhood forecast. Now, for the coast, 70s through the weekend, back in the 60s by Monday, keeping it right around the mid-60s for Tuesday through the end of next week. We take you up north, most likely 100 degrees or higher through Thursday, but we should drop below 100 degrees for the inland areas by Friday. For Siskiyou County, look at the temperatures. Through Thursday, 100 degrees or higher, but by the end of next week, by next Friday, we should finally break and drop below 100 degrees. Now, for Alturas and Modoc County in general, you're going to be hovering around or just above 100 degrees through Thursday and then back down to the upper 90s by Friday of next week. And the eastern mountains, I mean, look at all the triple-digit heat here. We should stay above 100 degrees here through Monday, and then we'll kind of see those temperatures slowly drop, barely making it to 100 by next Friday. We take a look at your valley neighborhood forecast, brought to you by NorCal Tractor. 110 degree plus. Now, Chico, 110 degrees or higher through Sunday, and then we should drop below 110 degrees by Monday, Tuesday. Taking you up north, 117 for the city of Shasta Lake, 118 for Redding and Palisadro, 117 for Anderson, and Red Bluff a high of 116 degrees. Red Bluff, you should drop below 110 by next Tuesday, Wednesday, but maybe back up to 110 by next Thursday. Here's a look at your 7-day outlook for Redding, and of course 118 degrees could meet that all-time record high for Redding. Hey, could we exceed it? Not out of the question. All right, so temperatures are going to stay most likely 110 degrees or higher through at least the middle, if not middle part of the week, if not into Thursday, finally dropping below 110 by Friday.
Let nothing stand between you and the tree stand with this great offer on the fast, durable Kubota Sidekick. Featuring a gas-powered engine that delivers a top speed of 40 miles per hour, outstanding acceleration and handling with cargo, and a 2-year, 1,000-hour warranty. Get the Sidekick now for 0 down, 0% APR for 36 months or save $1,000.
Tractors, trailers, rentals.
You do it all, we do it local.